Hello there. So this one is about grieving and other strong emotions like grief, sadness. And it's also got lots to do with stress as well. So I uncovered this technique which I've been using, which I find incredibly helpful. It's not always appropriate, but whenever you can make use of it, it's worth being aware of. So I'm going to call it grieving in advance. So I've learnt this because I've had many experiences of people that I've loved dying. I've had many ends of relationship, and I've also moved house a huge number of times. So they say moving house, death of spouse, they are like the most severe experiences in terms of producing huge amounts of stress. That's a general kind of psychological research thing. So what I'm saying is this: if at all possible, it's really great to begin your grieving process sooner rather than later. And I guess I learnt this with Cinda, the woman I was married to, because hers was a very slow process. And from the diagnosis of the cancer to a death, it was 25 years. So I guess that was probably what enabled me to really fully grasp this. Plus moving house, I did at one point, or rather we moved house, total house moves with everything including the kitchen sink, and I'm talking about 13 house moves in 6 years in 3 countries. So all these things have helped. So I've suddenly been thrown a surprising curveball. I knew that I'd be moving house this year, and I suspected it was going to be autumn or late summer. It isn't. It's going to be in a matter of some weeks' time. So that's been a big surprise to take on, and I've realised it's done something which is highly significant. It's produced a healing crisis in me, which means that a lot of past events have been brought up from my unconscious levels of existence into my conscious awareness. So it's become a very troubling, disturbing and frightening time. And I realise that I'm someone who doesn't have much to do with fear, because I tend to just roll with everything as it goes, but it's brought up old fears as well. So this is something that it can do. It can provoke like a healing crisis. This is incredibly helpful if you can stay with this and feel the feelings. That really does help. And the other thing, all these things have got in common: people dying, ends of relationship, moving house. It's all to do with change. And so there is a particular remedy I want to draw your attention to. So if you're going through particularly sudden, unexpected change, it's a very handy thing. So what I'm suggesting is, if you have time to process something, it's really helpful. I'm processing the grief of letting go of my home, which I love, and my garden, my lovely plants. I'll be letting go of all these in a matter of weeks. And it's really helpful it's come up, and I'm doing it in advance. Because I'm doing it in advance, this means I'll be more capable and more functional when I've actually got to do the move. And it means I've made a start. I've started to get rid of things, take things to very different places, books I don't need, food stores that I can give to the fridge and glastonbury, jars which other people use, like beekeepers giving my old honey jars away. All that sort of thing is helpful to get things moving, and I felt a huge sense of relief just when the first 8 boxes were actually dropped off at the different places, and I knew that I'd actually begun to move. That's helpful as well. So it's an acknowledgement of what's happening, taking some kind of action, just getting rid of clothes, getting rid of old papers, whatever it is you can do to start with. That really helps. That's number one thing. Number 2 thing is really feel all the feelings that might get triggered by this unexpected change, because it's letting go. And letting go is a really strong thing for humans to do, and it's a very human thing to do, to experience grief, sadness, and also fear about loss, fear of losing all the things that you're used to. It's really very, very human. So it's great to accept this. And then the other thing that's really helpful for me is I'm happy to laugh at myself. I'm pleased to discover the ironies presented to me by me, which is the current thing we're in at the moment with the second decanate of Taurus. It's going to change in a couple of days' time to a different one, but we're still in that space at the moment. So I'm I'm happy I can laugh at myself, and I'm pleased at the irony presented to me by me. That's helpful for me to remember. So here it is. It's called the Bark Flower Remedy. Dr. Bark, some people call him Bark, some people call him Batch. He was a microbiologist, and he was wandering in the country lanes of the southwest of England, and he went into a deep meditative state, and he received silent knowledge downloads. And as a result, he realized that all these different flowers had powers to heal us. And he came up with the range, 38 I think it is he came up with, and there's one particular one which is a combination of all 6, and I always carry this one with me in my backpack. It's called Rescue Remedy. I would recommend anyone and everyone get hold of Rescue Remedy. You never know when you might need it. You never know when you might meet someone who's had an accident, some trauma, they might be upset about something, a healing crisis might have got triggered. Give them Rescue Remedy, it's really useful. But this remedy, walnut, is specifically for change. So moving house is a big change. When someone dies, end of relationship, these are big change things. So one way you can do it, you get a little bit of water, put it in like that. You can read the instructions, it doesn't matter how many drops you use. I'm going to give 3, that's what my shamanic senses tell me to use. Is I'm going to put 3 drops in like this. 1, 2, 3 drops of walnut. Walnut is for change. Walnut is also prebiotic, and prebiotics are very powerful for healing the gut. So I'm going to drink this. I just bought this about 20 minutes ago, so I'm really grateful to be able to do it so quickly. Already that is starting to have an effect, which I'm instantly grateful for, and it's going to make me manage my day so much more easily. So strongly recommend it. So literally, he was a microbiologist walking on country lanes. He got this insight about the medicines of flowers. So what he did, he got the flowers, put them into water, put them in the sunlight for an hour to potentize the water with the energy of the flower, and then he prepared a preparation which is basically the carrier liquid is brandy, so that preserves it so it doesn't go off, but you're only putting a few drops in. So I highly recommend Dr. Bark or Dr. Batch's flower remedies, and walnut for change is a godsend when you're going through big changes. Astrologically speaking, I would say we're all going through big changes at the moment, so it can be helpful for all of us, and it's really great to carry in cases of emergency, the rescue remedy that you can give someone. So this is the other thing I want to explain before I finish this film. Rather than putting this into water, sometimes if someone is severely injured, you can't put something into their mouth because it's not in a situation you can do so. They might be bleeding, goodness knows what's happened. So you do is you get the rescue remedy and you put 3 drops on the temple. That's it, just 3 drops on that part of the head there, and that has the same effect. So thank you very much, all the love to you, and it won't be that long before I make my first film from my next home. All the love to you.